Okay, let's just dive straight into this explainer. Today we're unpacking a really comprehensive course that's being pitched right at aspiring digital creators. It's called the Content Creators Cheat Codes, and it's put together by the folks over at Professor of How. We're basically popping the hood on this entire syllabus to see exactly what they're promising to teach, the core philosophy behind it, and how it systematically tackles the wildly competitive creator economy.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to systematically break this down, starting with the reality of the content landscape. Then we'll get into the whole cheat code philosophy, dig into the actual production and algorithmic stuff, and finally, we'll look at the monetization mechanics and the literal price tags on these course tiers.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the content creation reality.
To really set the stage here, the source identifies a massive, almost mind-blowing bottleneck. We're talking 50 million, yes 5 crore videos uploaded across platforms every single day. Just wrap your head around that scale for a second. If you've ever felt like you're just screaming into the void online, well, this is exactly why. Because of this sheer volume, even videos that someone spent 10 hours editing usually just get totally buried in the avalanche, dying out at a few hundred views.
And that brings us to a huge contrast between myth and reality. The myth? The idea that blowing a lac on a fancy 4K camera and slapping up some RGB lights is your golden ticket? But the reality, at least according to this curriculum, is that unless you understand the algorithmic machine actually dictating your video's fate, you're basically just banging your head against a concrete wall.
Which leads us to Section 2, the cheat code philosophy.
To break out of that 50 million video crowd, you need a serious mindset shift. And it really boils down to this one core idea. The algorithm is not your master, it's your servant. The course argues that the top 1% of creators out there, they aren't just crossing their fingers hoping a reel goes viral. No, they treat the algorithm like a system that responds to very specific commands. If you know these commands, the cheat codes, you literally make the system work for you.
So, the proposed solution is the Content Creators Cheat Codes, or CCC. It's pitched as a massive 8-module framework packed with 66 videos, each about 10 to 15 minutes long. The creator claims this is 6 years of hard-earned experience totally distilled down. The ultimate goal is to help new creators completely skip that agonizing trial and error phase and start using professional systems right out of the gate.
Let's move right into Section 3, crafting the content.
So, how does this actually play out in the real world, before the camera even turns on? The syllabus flows through 4 initial stages. First, mindset, basically clearing out mental junk and avoiding the whole copycat trap. Then it moves into idea generation, scripting to lock in attention, and finally, filming without going completely broke. Let's look at the nitty-gritty of these.
When it comes to ideas, the curriculum has some highly structured tactics. Take the thumbnail first rule, for example. They teach that the biggest mistake you can make is shooting the video first. You have to mentally and visually lock in the thumbnail idea before a single frame is ever recorded. They also pitch a boring to bomb formula, which is essentially a way to pre-test ideas so you can predict if they'll flop or absolutely explode before you even pick up a camera.
Module 3 is all about the script, and there's a wild claim made here. 80% of creators fail because of middle drop-offs. Viewers just get bored halfway through and bounce. To fix this, they teach retention engineering, using pattern interrupts to totally lock the viewer's brain in. They also talk about the binge bridge, a psychological trick to ensure that the second a video ends, the viewer is practically forced to click on your next one.
Then we get to filming, which is basically an attack on budget excuses. They call it the gear myth, showing you how to squeeze maximum quality out of minimal gear. But the real game changer here is what they call the echo killer. The course insists that audiences will totally forgive a blurry video, but they will click away instantly if your audio is echoing and terrible. Good, pristine audio is literally more critical to survival than an expensive lens.
All right, on to Section 4, packaging and algorithms.
Once everything is shot, it's all about post-production, and the source makes a super bold claim here. Editing is 70% of a video's success. If you drop the ball here, the video is dead on arrival. They promise to teach mobile tools, stuff like CapCut and VN, plus AI integrations to turn what they call garbage raw footage into polished, viral gold without needing a massive studio budget.
Module 6 gets into packaging psychology. Because hey, the best video in the world doesn't matter if nobody actually clicks on it, right? They dive into how our brains react to colors and triggers in thumbnails. The coolest part might be what they call retention graph surgery. It's literally doing a post-mortem on your analytics to diagnose the exact second your video failed and figure out exactly why people left.
Next up is decoding the platforms themselves. They promise a total masterclass here, not just for YouTube, but they claim to teach the updated 2026 logic for Instagram Reels and even the professional B2B landscape of LinkedIn. It all ties together with their 360-degree domination framework, a universal set of rules to help you figure out literally any future social media platform from scratch.
Which brings us to Section 5, monetization and course tiers.
Here's where we move from just getting views to actually making money. Module 8 hits you with a harsh reality check. Subscribers just feed your ego, but systems build actual wealth. They break down the hidden math of ad revenue, how to price brand deals so sponsors literally can't say no, and how to run a channel like a highly efficient factory. They even cover exactly when you should make your first human hire versus just using AI as a tireless employee.
Now, looking at the actual pitch for the course, they lean hard into scarcity. They set a strict launch date, May 17th at 10 a.m., and offer a 20% early bird discount that is strictly limited to the first 1,000 enrollees. It's a classic, high-urgency play designed to get the audience to act fast.
Let's talk about the price tags. There are two main tiers here. First, the entry-level community plan at roughly 4,000 rupees. That gets you all 66 videos and a monthly live class. Then, there's a pretty massive jump to the personal plan at about 24,000 rupees. Why the jump? Well, it includes extended live classes and, most importantly, direct one-on-one mentorship. We're talking 2-hour-long video calls with the creator and a personalized deep dive audit of your specific channel.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, we're really left with a fascinating question to ponder. We've just looked at this incredibly structured, systemized approach to a notoriously chaotic industry, but does having the ultimate algorithmic roadmap, knowing all these cheat codes, actually guarantee success? Or is the creator economy, which relies entirely on human attention, always going to retain an element of untamable unpredictability? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive,